The lights are bright. The holiday season is in full swing. But before the clock strikes midnight on 2024, there is a huge Mountain West Conference matchup inside the Arena-Auditorium as the Wyoming Cowboys play host to the Boise State Broncos. And we'll take a look at the Mountain West standings. The preseason favorites in Boise State sitting at 2-0, 10-3 overall, and Wyoming looking to improve to 2-1 in Mountain West Conference play. And we welcome you inside the Dome of Doom, everybody, alongside the former Cowboy Steve Gosar. I'm Kyle Hewson. And Steve, the Cowboys on a 3-game winning streak, but tonight is a big test against this Boise State team.
Oh, a big, big test. And speaking of big, there are some big bodies out here on the court. This is going to be a physical game tonight. And I tell you, we've got some special players to watch. I'm really looking forward to this matchup.
Yeah, let's take a look at the key matchup tonight. And both guys can really put the ball in the hoop for each team. Obviously, Obi Agbem for Wyoming. But then you have Tyson Dagenhart, the preseason Mountain West Conference Player of the Year.
It seems like we've been watching him forever, you know, in the Mountain West. He's been here almost as long as Leon Rice, but I tell you, he does everything. He's a mismatch. He's so skilled, and he can just score, and he seems to come up with the ball or a big shot whenever they need it.
And then on the other side for Wyoming, Obi Agbem. What more can he do for the Wyoming Cowboys than what he's done this year?
He has really brought a lot of scoring to this Wyoming offense, some much needed scoring when they've had some droughts, but it is really important for him to hit these big shots and to get going early tonight.
Yeah, scored the eventual game-winning 3-ball against Nevada last game. It's going to be a fun one tonight as these two teams battle it out. The Cowboys against the Broncos. We've got it from Laramie, Wyoming, right after this. What better way to end 2024 than with a big Mountain West Conference matchup between the Wyoming Cowboys and the Boise State Broncos. Kyle Hewson and Steve Gosar with you. And Steve, as we take a look at the keys to victory, what do you got?
Well, for Boise State, they've got to contain the ball. This is not a great on-ball defending team, but they've got great length, and they shorten that court. They make it really small. And what they do offensively, they get you into foul trouble, and they get to the line a lot. There's been a lot of games where they've made more free throws than the other team has even attempted. For the Cowboys, it is very important that it's one and done. Boise State does a great job of offensive rebounding, and in key situations, they've come up with an offensive rebound, and that's usually been the difference in the game.
Well, let's take a look at the starting lineups for each side as we take a look at the Boise State Broncos. R.J. Keene's getting his 5th straight start, and you got to be aware of number 2, Tyson Dagenhart. On the other side for Wyoming, Kobe Newton, Obi Agbem, Mattia Belic. He has been key back in the lineup for the Cowboys. Then you have Jordan Nesbitt and Cole Henry.
I think it's a big matchup tonight. I think you'll see Belic on Dagenhart, and that is going to be very critical for the Cowboys. He has stepped in. He's come off an injury. He has played fantastic since he's been back and has been a big part of the Cowboys' turnaround.
4 games played. He came back against BYU. You really started to see those minutes come to play against Bellarmine, and we are underway. The big 7-footer Dylan Anderson wins the tip for the Broncos. They are in their orange jerseys, moving right to left across your screen. The Cowboys are in their white jerseys, moving left to right. Here's Dagenhart, the preseason Mountain West Player of the Year.
You're going to see a lot of middle ball screens with Dagenhart and Cardenas. They love that action, especially late in the game, in the shot clock.
Nice pass and a great drive from Andrew Meadow, the 6'7" sophomore from Santa Clarita, and the Broncos get on the board first.
Just a very smart group of players here for Boise State. Very seasoned. They played a lot of basketball together. You're going to see a lot of back cuts and a lot of easy, a lot of really good passing. I think one of the things they do best is when that ball is moving side to side and they're passing the ball, they are really hard to guard.
Nesbitt for 3, too strong, but Belic on the backside gets it. He goes up, misses the layup. Here's a great pass inside. Dagenhart with the easy layup.
It's going to be a long night if the Cowboys keep giving up stuff like that. Missing the putback on an offensive rebound, then giving up a layup on the other side.
Newton inside. Belic driving. Belich goes up off the back iron, and the 7-footer with the rebound.
Boy, he rebounded that one about 13 feet.
Inside, Dylan Anderson with it. He's going up against Nesbitt. Now back outside to Meadow, and he misses the 3, rebounded by Nesbitt. 4-0 Broncos. Minute and a half gone by in the first. Agnew for 3, too strong, rebounded by Henry. He was going to go out of bounds, keeps it in, and the Cowboys get a fresh 20.
Yeah. Right off Meadows' glasses there. I think he was really surprised that he saved that one back. But that's the type of effort the Cowboys are going to have to give on this offensive end to keep in this ball game. They need those extra shots.
Kobe Newton misses the 3. Here comes Belich, and the Broncos corral the rebound. They're a great rebounding team, plus 9.8 rebounding margin. That's 14th in all of NCAA basketball. Here's Anderson for 3, misses off the front iron, and there's another rebound from Boise State.
Kyle, there's not just length out there. There is some big, thick bodies out there. And I tell you, there's, to hold a chunk of that paint, you got to be strong in this game.
An early 6-0 lead for Boise State. Cowboys looking for their first basket. Here's Obi Agnew. Pass inside. Now Henry with the left hand got it.
Beautiful move. There's a great pass by Agnew down there to him, but took his time, finished back to his strong hand, got a big basket for the Cowboys. They could not afford to go away empty in that possession.
Now they're looking for a big stop. Inside Degenhart with it, working against Henry. And that may have been blocked from the backside by Nesbitt.
Great help by Nesbitt. Great hustle effort there. Got a piece of that ball and stopped an easy basket.
And Nesbitt draws the foul.
The Cowboys got to do a better job with Degenhart, doing your work early. Don't let him get that deep a post position. When he gets that position, I'm telling you, it is going to be hard to stop him.
Foul goes against Alvaro Cardenas.
And that's a good foul for the Cowboys because everything really runs through Cardenas. When he's sharing the ball out of ball screens, he is a big key for them, in winning ball games.
Yeah, he's averaging almost 7 assists per game, along with his 10.5 points.
And in losses, it's nearly 3 assists less in the losses.
Agnew drives, kicks it outside. And Allen stepped on the line. Dante Allen just checked into the game for Nesbitt.
You can see Coach Wicks saying, hey, on that baseline pass, one more back up. You got Kobe Newton sitting there wide open. Let your best shooter let it fly.
4-point lead for Boise State. 3.5 gone by. And a nice steal by Belich. Belich going in, goes hard, and it is blocked. What a block by Omar Stanley.
Got the ball, a lot of contact on the body.
Almost another turnover. Boise State keeps a hold of it. A corner 3, and it's rebounded by Henry.
There's a lot of bodies on the floor, and a lot of contact. Gotta love it.
Well, that was Omar Stanley, 6'8", 240, and Belich at 6'7", 205. Allen over to Obi Agnew. Five on the shot clock. Agnew with an awkward looking shot. He was looking for the call, but nothing doing.
Nothing doing. The refs have established that they're going to let these guys play tonight. I like that. I think that this is a big physical game. Nobody wants to see a free throw shooting contest.
Especially when you're going against Boise State, who's a great free throw shooting team. There's another steal for the Cowboys, and they'll bring it up. Still just a 6-2 game. We're approaching 5 minutes gone by in the first half.
Neither team really, outside of that first possession, has gotten some great shots out of their offense.
We'll see if the Cowboys can get a good shot here on their offense. 10 seconds on the shot clock. Belich looking inside, tipped away and stolen away by Andrew Meadow.
Lots of bad passes so far in this game on both sides of the court.
And a couple turnovers for each side. Stanley is short on the jump shot.
But Degenhart had a mismatch down there on Kobe Newton. They just couldn't get it around. They shot it a little bit too quick.
Boise State 3 of 8 from the field. Wyoming just 1 of 8.
Boise's done a great job with these ball screens with Agbim and keeping him from getting good looks.
Agbim driving. He wanted another foul, but nothing doing. 3-on-2 for Boise State. Pass in, and the layup from Javen Buchanan and a timeout.
4 of the 8 points by Boise State are in transition and uncontested layups. Cowboys cannot give up those easy baskets.
And we will take a break. 6-point lead for Boise State. Back right after this break. Well, the last meeting between the Boise State Broncos and the Wyoming Cowboys back earlier in 2024 on February 24th here in the Arena-Auditorium, and Boise State got the better of the Cowboys in that matchup.
I was here for that game, and I tell you, one of the things I remember from that is that ball was really moving around the perimeter, finding the open shooter, and they really knocked down those open shots last year.
Well, it's an early 8-2 lead. This is the 40th all-time meeting between the Broncos and the Cowboys. Boise State leads the all-time series 25-14, and the Broncos have won 12 of the past 13 matchups. Wyoming looking to change that and ring in the new year right.
Well, starting off 1 for 9 from the field is not a great way to accomplish that. They're going to have to shoot the ball better. They're going to have to finish plays. They've had some decent looks and just have not gotten that ball to go through the rim.
See if Toko Tynamo can provide some offensive spark for the Cowboys. An awkward-looking shot. Good D by Stanley.
Awkward-looking shot because he just bumped into Stanley, and Stanley knocked him back 2 feet.
Yeah, Stanley, again, 6'8", 240, had that big block earlier.
Watch him when he's trying to get post position down there. As soon as he hits Dynamo, he jumps back about 2 feet.
Stanley for 3, got it.
Well, a knuckleball found the bottom of the net.
Only a 14% three-point shooter, but he was wide open, looking dead red. And it's a 9-point lead for Boise State.
You would have thought he was a 34% shooter the way he let that one fly. He had no hesitation.
Agbem, he's a great three-point shooter and answers.
I'll tell you this, though. First shot, yes, he made an open shot. He had 2 hands in his face. 2 defensive players, came up and contested that shot. They are very aware where Obi Agbem is on the court.
Shooting almost 49% from beyond the arc. That's first in the Mountain West Conference, so you know that you're looking for him when he's out beyond the arc.
Right there, that's a Boise play right there. Coming off a ball screen, you're trying to help and contain that dribbler. Cardenas does a great job making that pass over the top to a rolling big man.
Dynamo over to Agbem. Agbem inside to Toko Dynamo. 15 points last game, and that's blocked from behind by Buchanan.
Has there been a foul called in today's game yet?
One foul called
by Cardenas.
By Cardenas, yes. But the refs are certainly letting them play, and Boise State with a 10-point lead. They're 4 of their last 4 from the field. Nesbitt, pull-up jumper. Short and rebounded by Magassa. Now Agbem makes a man jump. Corner 3 from Magassa. No good, and Cardenas gets the rebound.
Great hustle to get that second effort, get another shot up there. I don't know if that's the shot the Cowboys are going to win with tonight.
2 of 14 from the field are the Wyoming Cowboys. And that one's too strong from Stanley. Despite being 2 of 14, it's still just a 10-point game. You don't want to dig yourself too much of a hole, but a couple of good offensive possessions and a couple of stops on D, and the Cowboys can reset a little bit.
Not insurmountable, certainly. But when you play a team like Boise State, 10 points, it's a lot harder to get back in these ball games because they really work the ball offensively and they start settling in for high percentage shots, and it really makes it a lot harder to come back on a team like Boise State.
15-5, Broncos with the lead. Buchanan with it. Now Stanley up top. Cardenas thought about the three, wants to get the screen from Stanley. Little pick and roll action read well by the Cowboys, and Tynamo takes it away.
You know, another thing, when you're up 10, that rim gets a little bit bigger. So, you know, maybe, Boise's not a great outside shooting team, but when you're up 10, you're just a little bit looser, and that makes those shots seem to fall a little bit easier.
Allen step back three and too strong. Cowboys 0 of their last 6.
I think that, key for the game, don't settle. We didn't get to. That was a very big key for the Cowboys. They got to quit shooting early on, and maybe not the right guy shooting the ball from the perimeter.
Nesbitt drives in. Nesbitt goes up hard, misses, gets his rebound, misses again, poked out, and it is stolen away by Allen.
I love that effort by Allen. Nesbitt with the back tap out and getting it out there, but Allen really fought for that ball to get the Cowboys another possession. Shot clock's running down. I don't know if Obi...
Here's Agnew, goes up and misses the dunk. 2-on-1 for the Broncos. Here comes Buchanan, goes up and can't get it to roll. A foul on Lockett Jr.
I'll tell you one thing I noticed there. We got 2 Cowboys that barely got across half court right there. That's not going to cut it tonight.
Boise State with a 10-point lead, back with more college basketball right after this. Wyoming Cowboys basketball is brought to you by Blue Cross Blue Shield of Wyoming. New Year's festivities, some great light displays, and the Wyoming Cowboys are trying to come back from a 10-point deficit right now against the Boise State Broncos here in the Arena-Auditorium in Laramie, Wyoming. Kyle Houston and Steve Gose are with you. And Steve, Cowboys just shooting 2 of 20 from the field, and you look at the shutdown defense from Boise State.
And boy, they're just going to be elevated. They're going to go from second to first and third to second within the league. But the Cowboys have had some opportunities. They have not converted good shots. And then I think they've taken shots that are the ones they don't need to take. They got to find the guys that can score the ball at a high clip and let them get those shots. I think a little bit of that, though, Kyle, is that they're panicking a little bit. They're really not settled into how they were playing against Nevada and at Bellarmine. Really see that they need to get a bucket and get settled into the game and be a little bit more comfortable on the court.
We'll see Scotty Abube for the first time. They get it into him.
Well, he traveled there. He switched pivot foot right in front of the referee.
Agbem was looking in deep. See if out of this timeout, Wyoming will try to go inside a little bit more. Agbem over to Newton. 3 on the shot clock. Newton is going to have to fire it. He does. No good. And rebounded by Meadow.
One of the things I will tell you, I think what the Cowboys can do, they can beat Boise off the dribble and get good shots, but they've got to get to attacking that rim and going downhill.
Well, here's Leon Rice, 15th year at Boise State, got his 300th career win in the last game against San Jose State. One of 7 active head coaches with at least 300 wins while leading only 1 program in his career.
It's been outright special. That's averaging over 20 wins a season, and it is outright amazing in this day and age. He's done a wonderful job at Boise and really has put them on the map basketball-wise.
Degenhart with a nice drive in and finishes with the right hand.
So skilled, just knows how to play the game. Really has a high basketball IQ.
Yeah, prior to that, just 2 points. Agbem kicks it outside. Now they go up top. Belich. 13 on the shot clock. Abube inside. Goes strong against Anderson, and he walked.
Yep. That's a good call. Didn't need to gather. He just could have taken that one right up, and he had the angle to score it.
Here's that coach for the Wyoming Cowboys, Sundance Wicks. First season as Wyoming's head coach, back in Laramie after a stint as an assistant coach. And you feel the energy when you're around Sundance Wicks.
Absolutely. It's, should be sponsored by Red Bull. He's got that much energy, and it's infectious. He's just, and right now he's trying to use it to get his guys to play a little bit harder and compete.
17-5 Boise State, under 8 to go in the first half. Agbem over to Belich.
Got a mismatch inside there if they can get it to Abube.
Nesbitt drives in, goes up hard, can't get it, and it's rebounded by Degenhardt.
It's where that length of Boise is affecting shots. Nesbitt is long and athletic, but even he's clutching that ball before he shoots it.
Crowd wanted to travel, but it looked like Meadow kept his dribble. Here's Degenhardt for 3. Can't get it, and rebounded by Belich.
You know, we haven't seen Wills in this game yet.
He is ready to check in at the next break along with Henry.
I think one of the things we talked about this earlier, that combination really frees up Agbem a little bit more to score. The only downside is you give up a lot of height, you know, and against this big Boise team, is that going to be enough, you know, defensively to rebound and get stops?
A good shot from Agbem. Stops a 6-0 run from Boise State, and Wyoming back to down just 10. Degenhardt was looking for Anderson. Now gets it to Cardenas. Cardenas behind the back from the elbow. Now outside, a long 3, and Bowie is pure.
Well, that was a deep 3, and I think Nesbitt was happy that he was taking that one. I think he felt pretty good that was a bad shot for Boise, but he knocked it down, big one. You know, the one thing Cardenas is, you know, is if you can make him try to be a scorer, I know he can beat you with the assists and his passing. He's a beautiful passer, but I don't know if he can score enough to beat you.
There's Obi Agbem. Fall away jumper from Agbem, and when he starts doing that and making those baskets, he can be dangerous, and he really starts to feel it.
They have to have him score big tonight.
Here's Bowie, stops, and inside.
Oh, wow.
Nesbitt called for the foul. Crowd doesn't like it. Nesbitt didn't like it.
I don't like it. We've seen so much contact out here on the court, and then you're going to call that one. It's a tough call.
11-point lead for Boise State, back to the AA after this break. Boise State with a 20-9 lead over the Wyoming Cowboys. Kyle Hewson, Steve Gosar with you in Laramie, and what a job Leon Rice has done with Boise State. One of 7 active head coaches with 300 wins while leading only one program, and he's done a tremendous job for the Broncos.
He has, and you know, came from, you know, a good program. You know, Mark Few at the top of that list where Leon Rice was an assistant. And I think one of the things that I remember when Coach Rice got to Boise, one of the things I remember most about him is creating a culture at Boise and Boise basketball. Boise football we've heard about, but Boise basketball, he established that culture, and that has really carried him over these years.
Broncos with the inbound out of the timeout. Bowie with it, drives in, goes through the hands of Allen. Allen with a great play. We've seen a couple of good hustle plays from Dante Allen. Can the Cowboys capitalize on the turnover? Well, they'll get a foul at least, and the ball.
I think the refs now are trying to put this, you know, try to control this game a little bit because it is getting very physical out there, and I think that's something they probably need to do.
Fouls on Omar Stanley, his first, as A.J. Wills into the game for the first time, and he'll get the ball. Magassa back in, and Allen. We've seen a few different combos of 5 for the Cowboys. Here's Magassa, slams it home.
Boy, he had Meadows pinned down there, but they were battling for position. I tell you, that was a hell of a catch right off the bat just to get that ball, much less the bucket.
Agbem from behind knocks it away from Stanley.
Great second effort by Agbem, getting back into that play and knocking it out. That was going to be an easy basket for the Broncos.
And he almost had the steal right before that, but here's the play inside. We'll see if the Cowboys start to do this more often.
They've got to get high percentage shots, things that they're comfortable with, and I tell you, they've got to match Boise State's physicalness.
We'll see Magassa against Stanley inside. Cardenas for 3. No good. Magassa with another rebound. He's got 4.
If I'm Coach Wicks, I'm fine with that. I'm not sure Cardenas can score enough from the perimeter to beat you. I know he can beat you with the passing. He's one of the best passers in the Mountain West.
Yeah, 6.8 assists per game. Agben for 3.
Stanley's got to do a much better job. KYP, know your personnel. You cannot give Obi Agbim that shot.
It's now a 6-point lead for Boise State. Stanley looking for anybody. Finds outside to Cardenas.
Cowboys found a little bit of an offensive rhythm right now. Wills is in the ball game, and it's allowing Agbim to be that off-the-ball scorer.
No good from Stanley. Degenhart with the rebound, blocked by Magassa. But Stanley going in. Up and in, offensive foul.
Big plays by Magassa both times there. I tell you, Broncos got an extra shot on that possession, but to sit in there and take that charge was huge for the Cowboys. Helps keep this momentum going for them.
Yeah, Magassa got outside that arc, got his feet set, and Stanley went right into him.
Cowboys starting to match that intensity, and starting the plays are starting to go their way a little bit. They got a little bit of momentum right now.
Wills with it. Now Henry up top. He's looking for Agbim. Let's just set the screen. Agbim driving in, kicks it outside. Wills, corner 3, got it! Timeout, Boise State.
I have to call that timeout right there. You're just seeing Agbim and Wills really start to play off each other. One of the things that you and I were talking about before the game, Boise doesn't do a great job of containing that ball. Now you've got 2 really quick guards that can get into the middle of the paint and kick up to an open shooter.
10-0 run for Wyoming. It's just a 3-point lead for Boise State. Back to the AA after this.
Got a little bit.
The Wyoming Cowboys with a 10-0 run, Steve Gosar.
Well, Agbim has hit a couple of tough shots. Boise's really making him work for his buckets, but they've been more patient. They pounded that ball inside, to Magassa. They've got that ball back to Agbim, and then he's kicked it back out to Wills. They've started to settle into a little bit better offensive flow, and you can see they're more comfortable out there on that offensive side. That has translated into better defensive effort and, more of a cohesive, stop each time.
3.5 to go in the first half. Ugbo. Now Degenhart. Just 4 points for Degenhart. Cardenas. Now Wills matched up against Degenhart and a travel.
Buchanan had Allen posted up down low. They could not take advantage of it. But that is a mismatch. He is a very big, strong, physical player down low. And I think that's going to be a tough matchup for the Cowboys if they keep finding Allen on Buchanan.
6 turnovers for Boise State, and the Cowboys could tie it up on this possession. Allen goes up, and no good. He was leaning. The Broncos will come back up court.
It's hard, but you've got to get your momentum going to the rim. If you go to the rim, you're going to take out left or right. It's just going to be short or long. If you can get it on the rim, you've got a better chance of that ball going through the rim.
Cardenas with it. Wills staying with him. Good job by Wills, and they go inside, and they'll call Henry with the foul.
Yeah. And that's a good call. Henry was out of position. If I'm Coach Wicks, I'm okay with that. You're going to give up an easy basket. Make him at least to go to line and work for it. Well, it's still not in the penalty.
Only 3 fouls so far for the Cowboys. We didn't see a foul for the first little bit of the game. They were really letting both teams play. And if you're Wyoming, you're okay with, obviously, the fewer fouls, the better, but you certainly don't want to let Boise State go to the line.
That is a huge factor for Boise State. Like I said earlier, there's been a lot of games they've made more free throws than the other team has even attempted. And this is just how they beat you up. They beat you up and they get you in foul trouble and they get to the foul line and they get easy baskets. They're not a great outside shooting team, but they can go to the line and knock them down.
8 seconds on the shot clock. Cardenas, little hesitation, gets it inside. Degenhart with the mismatch against Wills.
Those two have great chemistry. Cardenas didn't even think about it. He had a shot he could have got up on the rim. He didn't even think about it. He knew that Degenhart was going to seal the defender and they were going to get an easy bucket down low.
Stops the 10-0 run for Wyoming. 5-point game. Henry going inside. Henry goes up, can't get it, gets his rebound, goes up with a strong hand.
I've always wondered, why do you kick it back out when you got an offensive rebound if you're a big fella? You know, take it right back up, and he's got to consistently keep doing that. They will. That's some of the best shots you can get off the offensive rebound and going right back up.
4 points, 3 boards for Henry. Corner three, and Lockett Jr. knocks it down.
Agbim got caught trying to help on Cardenas and just left his man a little bit too much of a room to get that shot up.
Wheels up top to Henry. Henry to Agbin. Obi, step back, jumper, too short, and rebounded by Ugbo. 6-point lead for Boise State.
That's a mismatch down there. Buchanan. Wow.
Nice steal from Obi Agbin. He's got Wills to his left. Agbin pulls up, and a wise decision to slow things down, get the Cowboys back into their offense.
1 minute left. This is a big possession for the Cowboys. You want to get a little momentum going into halftime.
Lead was once 11 for Boise State. Agbin, one-on-one, step back, jumper, short, and Buchanan with the rebound.
You know, he's really having to use a lot of dribbles to create that shot to get his looks. Every possession. Boise's really making him work for his buckets.
He's got 10 points, 4 of 11 from the floor. And they have big, tough baskets.
Henry's got to get up. This is where Degenhart's really tough in that short corner.
Wills gets out to close on Cardenas. Cardenas with the jumper, no good, and it's pulled down by Ugbo, but he's called for the foul.
Well, he had the ball in one hand, but he had the other one just, you know, with a forearm in the back. I think that's a pretty good call.
I think
there.
so.
I think Coach Rice won't argue that one too much. But boy, talk about physical underneath the bucket. Wow.
Cowboys can hold on for the final shot. 15 seconds in the half. Agbin brings it up half court. Cowboys get into their offense. 7 seconds. Agbin over to Allen. Allen back to Obi Agbin. 2 seconds. 1 step back. 3 in and out.
Well, it's a tough miss. I like to see the Cowboys, they got a step, and right now they're kicking it back out. I think you've got to take that one more hard dribble into the defender and try to finish on the rim.
Well, it was once an 11-point lead for the Boise State Broncos. It ends up with a 6-point lead at the half for the team in orange, 25-19 in favor of Boise State. And if the second half is anything like the first half, we are in for a treat. What a way to get out of 2024, ring in 2025. 6-point lead for the Broncos. And back with more right after these messages. What an exciting first half of basketball here in Laramie, Wyoming. Boise State with a 25-19 lead over the Wyoming Cowboys. Back inside the Dome of Doom alongside the former Cowboy Steve Gosar. I'm Kyle Hewson, and Steve, it was a great first half. I mean, it was an 11-point lead at 1 point for Boise State. Wyoming goes on a 10-0 run, and they're right back in this game.
Oh, gosh, that was a battle. We didn't see one free throw in a whole half of basketball. I love it. But I tell you, there's some big physical bodies out there. There's guys laying on the court, making some big-time plays. And if you told me that the Cowboys would be down 6 points after the way they started, they were 2 for 20 from the field to start this ball game, I would have really questioned what you were telling me at that point in time. But this has been a really good half of basketball. It's been a lot of fun, a lot of action.
Well, that's what you get in the Mountain West Conference. And we'll take a look around the Mountain West Conference. Again, we talked about how great this conference is for basketball. 4 teams in the top 64 of the net. Utah State, San Diego State, Boise State. 2 quad 1 wins for Boise State and Nevada. A couple of Utah State facts in there. And then obviously Donovan Dent leading the Mountain West in scoring with nearly 20 points per game.
I tell you, the Mountain West we're watching Boise State play tonight in the college playoff. But the Mountain West is known for their basketball. This is a very tough league to travel, tough league, with every team every night. And some of the best players are in this league. And Donovan Dent is one of the best.
Well, in a couple games, Wyoming will get to see and defend Donovan Dent, and good luck defending him with how he has played this year.
He's fantastic. He can score at all 3 levels. He's a true point guard. How he got out of the state of California is a mystery to me. I tell you, he is a fantastic player. I love watching great point guards, and I love watching Donovan Dent.
Well, he's up among the leaders, if not the leader, in all of Mountain West. 19.2 points per game. Obi Agman is second in the Mountain West Conference. We look at those assists as well. So when you're scoring at that rate and then distributing at that rate, it's really tough to defend.
No, he is a special player. And as he goes, so do the Lobos go, because you cannot have a player like that. He does so much for them. And I tell you, it's just so much fun to watch him create out there on the court.
Well, we are excited for some more Mountain West Conference basketball to finish up 2024. Some upcoming home games tomorrow. We have Mountain West women's basketball as the Cowgirls play host to Utah State. We mentioned Donovan Dent coming to town in about a week, and then the women will play against San Diego State on January 11th. You can get tickets as you look there on your screen. Some fun matchups here at the Arena-Auditorium. We'll be back with more highlights and stats and get you set for the second half of Boise State and Wyoming. The great Kenny Sailors, originator of the jump shot. Cowboys will look to get a few more jump shots like they did at the back half of the second half. Boise State with a 6-point lead over Wyoming inside the Arena-Auditorium one final time in 2024. Kyle Houston, the former Cowboy Steve Gosar here. And Steve, what does Wyoming need to do in this second half to secure the victory?
They need to knock down a few more of those jumpers like Kenny was in that picture. They're getting some good shots. They're just not getting them to go through the net, and I think that they've settled into a little bit of offense. I'm liking how that they're, that combination with Wills and Agbim, they're playing off each other. Instead of shooting jumpers, I really think they got to hit that first contact and take one more dribble and get to the rim. There's nothing behind it. And I tell you, Boise State wants you to shoot jumpers. Their length, all right, they'll contest shots all day long. They don't think you can make enough of them to beat them.
Let's take a look at the first half highlights. It was started early by Boise State, and Wyoming really struggled from the floor early on.
Well, these guys really know how to play well together. They're a great passing team. And they started out, they had 3 assists to 1 turnover. Cowboys got down early. All right, the halftime stats right now, Boise State's got 6 assists and 7 turnovers. The Cowboys started to match their intensity and the physicalness of this ball game and started to make plays for themselves. And that really started to turn the momentum of the game.
Yeah, they went on a 10-0 run, and it was down to a 1-possession game at one point. Then they went cold the last 2 minutes and a little bit of change there. But really, as you look toward the second half, it started to become more of an even matchup. But this is big boy basketball right now.
Oh, I tell you, it is so physical. It's physical underneath the basket. It's physical out on the 3-point line. Anytime you're coming off a ball screen, watch these guards. These big guys are hitting them, and you can see that it is shaking them in their shoes. And I tell you, you're going to have to really be able to absorb contact and play through the contact to get a bucket in this game.
No free throws in the first half from either side, and Boise State with the 6-point advantage as we take a look at the halftime stats. And the Cowboys better towards the end of the first half in field goals and knocked down a couple of threes. Assist to turnover ratio 4-3 in favor of the Wyoming Cowboys. And we will come back. Second half action coming up after this. Happy New Year, everyone. And here's a shot of my family and my dad, the Hall of Famer, Jeff Houston, my mom, Wendy, the true Hall of Famer of the family, and then there was my son, Brooks, and my wife, Emily. They're here hoping to see the Wyoming Cowboys with the comeback victory in the second half, Steve Gosar.
Well, if they're going to do that, if they're going to get a chance to see that, the Cowboys have to start better this half than they did to start the game. And I think a big key is Belich right here with the ball. He's got to have a much better first half and be more of a factor in the game.
Here's Nesbitt inside against Meadow. Nesbitt goes up and gets it. Nice touch from Nesbitt.
I love that. I love Nesbitt against Meadows. He's strong enough to get some good position, and he's more athletic. He can elevate over the top. Coach Rice is unhappy with that. I tell you what, I think it could have been just as easy an offensive foul as it was a turnover, but the Cowboys get a great bucket to start this half and get a stop here with the turnover.
Yeah, it goes off the foot of Cardenas and onto the bench. Cardenas and Coach Rice, they were both not happy, but it's a 4-point lead for the Broncos. Here comes Henry. Kicks it outside. Belich drives in. Now over to Henry. Henry goes up and a foul call.
Okay, Jay, I love that play. Cowboys are attacking the rim, but Jay Nesbitt is sitting out there at the three-point line when they're going to the rim. He needs to be crashing the glass. He is so good of an offensive rebounder. When he is on the glass, when he's active, I tell you what, the Cowboys are better.
Foul goes against Andrew Meadow, his first.
What are they doing right now? What is this? It's a free throw. Oh my gosh, we haven't seen it. Wow, great second effort. Reeling Obi Agbim down, which is no small feat because he is very fast. But then to come up with a clean block and save a bucket. Watch this. Wow. I tell you, you know, for kids out there, you got to protect that ball. You can't leave it hanging out there. It's not about style. You want the bucket.
Here's Newton outside. Obi off the back iron. Henry goes up, can't quite grab it, and the Broncos get the rebound. 3-point game. Degenhardt for three from the corner, got it.
When you need a big bucket, time again, Degenhardt comes through for them. Hits big shots, hits a big three ball right there.
6 points in the first half. Relatively quiet in terms of his production, but starts out his first basket of the second half in style. Nesbitt inside. He had the first bucket for the Cowboys. Goes up and gets it.
Now, I like what Boise State did, putting Buchanan on Nesbitt. That's a little bit better of a matchup, I think, for Boise State. But Nesbitt, very active down there. Just find a way to spin to the middle and get that ball up on the rim.
Jordan Nesbitt, 4 points, has the chance for the old-fashioned three-point play. Buchanan gets called for the foul. Nesbitt, 65% free throw shooter.
In the whole first half, Nesbitt had 1 rebound, no points. You know, Coach Wicks, very concerted effort of getting Jordan Nesbitt going in the second half.
Yeah, started out the game 0 of 5 from the floor. 2 of his first 2 in the second half. It's down to a 3-point game again. Cardenas gets the handoff from Anderson. They tried to get it back to Anderson. Little mismatch. Of course, a lot of people are mismatched against the 7-footer Anderson. Cardenas for 3, gets it to rattle in.
Good passing by the Broncos. When they move that ball, when it is not sticky, all right, they are so hard to guard. And that ball kept moving side to side, inside out. Cardenas knocked down a beautiful 3.
6-point game, Nesbitt. He's had the hot hand in the second half. He drives in, goes up, and an offensive foul. Lowered his shoulder into Cardenas.
Right idea, but I tell you, you don't need to do all of that, all right? Just go strong to the hole, but I think he dropped his shoulder and Cardenas sold it. He knows how to play.
Second foul against Nesbitt. 31-25 Boise State. 17-10 to go in the second half. Cardenas thought about firing the three. Will hold on to it. Drives in, throws it up, and the basket wouldn't have counted. They called a block before the shot.
Now that's a little bit different than how we've been calling the first half. I mean, this would have been a play on in the first half, which I love, you know what? But you know what? Gets the call right here, and the Cowboys are getting, you know, those fouls are starting to stack up, and you know, Boise State loves to get to that foul line. 2 fouls for each side in this second half so far. Degenhart going up against Henry. Now Agben coming in for the help. Cardenas up against Nesbitt. Crosses over to his right. 10 on the shot clock. Passes it inside. Stanley misses the dunk. How does Cardenas see that pass? Oh my gosh, he had 2 defenders. He had no idea. It was a blind pass for him. What great presence and court vision.
Here's Nesbitt, now outside. Agben, hand in his face, 3 off the back iron. Henry goes up and gets it, taken away by Keene, and a foul called on Henry on the way down.
Noticeably different closeout by Stanley on Agben this half as that first half. He came flying out. He made Obi rush that shot a little bit, helped him miss that ball, miss that open 3.
Yeah, you've talked a lot about needing to get that hand in the face to Agben because of just how lethal he is from beyond the arc, making it difficult for those sharpshooters to get those shots off.
You need to rush him just a little bit. If you let them sit in their comfort zone, they'll shoot your eyes out.
Out of bounds on Wyoming. 6-point lead still for Boise State.
Belich is really working out there hard on the defensive end. Got to see him more on that offense. He's got to do something. He is very capable. He's a guy that really knows how to play. And he has a very high basketball IQ. He needs to start showing up on the offensive side.
And Boise State will inbound it right in front of us as Nesbitt with back-to-back good defensive plays pokes it away. He's had a good second half. He's going up against Cardenas. Cardenas to the corner. Degenhart, another 3 attempt, no good. Rebounded by Agben.
Cardenas getting deep penetration, kicking that ball out to wide open shooters. That's Boise State basketball, and that's how they'll beat you. Got to keep them out of the paint.
Nesbitt over to Belich. Now Agben. He'll drive, hesitate, kick it back outside. Belich pumps, drives inside. Tynamo. And that is poked away by Degenhart, but he will get called for the foul. And we will take a timeout. 31-25 in favor of Boise State. Back to the AA after this. Well, the Wyoming Cowboys ringing in the new year at the Arena-Auditorium. And they have had some success at home. There's Hayden Dalton. And the Cowboys 6-0 at home on New Year's Eve all time. This is the 17th game on New Year's Eve.
With a stat like that, I tell you, the fans might not love coming to the games on New Year's Eve, but as a coach, I would want to schedule one every single year. And the later, the better.
Yeah. It is shaping up to be a fun finish between the Broncos and the Cowboys as Toko Tynamo out of the timeout will take 2 shots. Nails the first one. Didn't see any free throws in the first half. Cowboys are about to shoot their 5th of the second half.
Dante Allen checking back into the ball game. I tell you, defensively, I thought he gave them a big lift in the first half for the Cowboys. Hopefully he can do that again if you're Coach Wicks.
4-point game, 15:34 to go in the second half. Cardenas outside. Lockett drives in. Little fadeaway layup and missed, and goes off of Wyoming out of bounds.
Looked like Mugasa tipped that one out of bounds. One of the things I do like, a matchup I like Jordan Nesbitt on Cardenas. I tell you, he's fighting through ball screens. He's got enough length and athleticism that he's affecting his passing and making him think twice about what passes he's going to throw because they might get tipped.
Well, we talked about ad nauseum how good of a distributor Cardenas is. But the athleticism of Nesbitt staying right there. But that was a great move by Cardenas.
Tough shot. Oh, my gosh. Over Nesbitt, a really long, athletic Nesbitt in traffic there. There was a lot of contact. That was a tough, tough bucket.
Agben over to Magassa. Now Allen with it. Against Lockett. Poked away. Lockett will take it. Numbers for Boise State. Hands it off to Cardenas. Now to Lockett. The Cowboys get back. Broncos wasted a little 3-on-2 opportunity, but they'll settle down into their offense. Cardenas falls. Thought that he might have gotten that pass off before his backside hit the key, but did not.
You got a big man on you. You got Dynamo guarding you. I'm not so sure you got to get into the paint and try to spin back. Just crisscross him over, a little step back, get a little separation, and shoot that 10-footer right over the top of him.
Double digits in turnovers for Boise State, 10 already. They only average a little over 11 per game coming into tonight's contest.
So not a great scoring lineup for the Cowboys right here. This lineup need to have a few more threats out there from the perimeter, and you just got one right now with Agben.
Degenhart going up against Agben. Little mismatch. Cardenas over to Stanley. Stanley goes in, goes right around Magassa.
Just patience. That's a veteran move right there. Came down to a jump stop, chicken winged him, and just put it up there on the glass. Magassa's got to be a little bit better at staying in that play until it's over.
And Stanley may have learned from that charge in the first half against Magassa and went right around him. 10 on the shot clock. Allen with it. Kicks it outside. Obi. 5 seconds to shoot. Obi drives in. Nice move. Gets it to throw.
Kyle, right there. In the first half, Agben was taking that step back. He took one more dribble, got all the way to the rim, and got an easy bucket. Cowboys really needed that bucket.
And a foul called on Magassa away from the ball. And here's the play from Agben.
He took that contact, and there's, the defender is underneath the basket. That's an easy bucket for Agben, but right there, he scored that bucket out at the three-point line when he handled that contact and took another dribble to the basket.
12 points for Agben. Another foul.
Oh, that's just crafty Degenhart right there. Getting his arms wrapped up, with Dynamo and just getting the foul called. I mean, that is smart veteran basketball.
And he is a veteran, and you talked about how every team in the Mountain West is going to be happy. Well, every team aside from Boise State happy when Degenhart is no longer on the court.
Oh, I think every team in the Mountain West will send him a graduation gift.
He's the preseason Mountain West Player of the Year. He has been fantastic for the Broncos. One of the reasons why they've made the NCAA tournament the past 3 years. Here's Dynamo. Can he get going? No, it goes off of a foot. Nesbitt with it. 10 on the shot clock. They'll kick it outside. Belich, can he get going? He's fouled.
Wow, that's a costly mistake right there. That's something you never foul a three-point shooter, and I think Stanley probably heard it when he let Agben get that open three in the first half. He's been closing out hard now, and this one he just got a little bit carried away, and he hit Belich in the face with his elbow.
Third foul on Stanley.
I think that, Coach Wicks is asking them to take a look at that, and, because that was contact to the head. Doesn't appear that they're going to give it a second look.
Belich makes the free throw, his first point of the game. Two for two. Stanley checks out, and Emmanuel Ugbo comes back in.
Cowboys 6 for 7 from the foul line tonight, and they're going to need every one of them they can get.
And Nesbitt gets the rebound. Agbim, wide open three. Off the back iron, and a foul called against Wyoming.
You know what? That's okay. Unfortunately, that's Nesbitt's third foul, and that hurts. But I love that effort. That's what Jordan Nesbitt does. He goes hard to the offensive rebound. He's active, and his activity creates for his teammates.
4-point lead for the Broncos. Cardenas pops a three and way off.
Say, that's what I saw in film. There's times where he just knocks it down and it's nothing but the bottom of the net. Then there's other times where it's off by quite a long ways.
Agbell over to Nesbitt. Jordan Nesbitt, 5 points in the second half. Allen for three. Pure!
Boy, that was huge. That is a bucket when the Cowboys needed one at a critical time. Got a wide open look, got his feet set, and he knocked it down.
And Nesbitt called for the foul.
Oh, no. Oh, no. He needed to play smarter on that one. That is a bad foul. That is his fourth foul.
A.J. Wills back into the game, but there's the three from Dante Allen. It's made it a 1-point game, and now Boise State is in the 1-1. So after we didn't see a free throw in the first half, didn't see our first free throw until a minute or so into the second half, Boise State will be shooting free throws the rest of the way. It's not what Wyoming wanted.
We'll look back at this game, and if the Cowboys are unfortunate enough to not win this ball game, they'll probably look at this 12-minute, 11-second mark when Jordan Nesbitt has to sit, because that is a big loss for the Cowboys.
First free throws of the evening for Boise State. Bowie will check in for the shooter Cardenas. And Cardenas will go take a seat. Back to a 3-point game for Boise State.
Cardenas did some damage in that rotation out there. He picked up a couple of fouls against Jordan Nesbitt. That was big, and I tell you, got some big baskets, got to the foul line a couple of times. That was a good rotation for him.
11 points for Cardenas. That's above his season average of 10.5. So here's Wills and Agbem. When they were in the game together in the first half, that was part of that 10-0 run for the Cowboys and made it more manageable for Wyoming. One possession game, 13 on the shot clock. Agbem drives in, and he will draw a foul against Meadow.
That's that contact. If you play through it, get one more step to the bucket, you're going to get to the foul line or you're going to get a bucket.
It's a one-possession game. More from the Dome of Doom after this. It is a knockdown, drag-out fight right now in the Arena-Auditorium. Boise State leading 37-34. As Wyoming has made it a one-possession game. Some festive fans in the stands tonight.
Maybe a few players that would like to don those helmets as they go underneath the bucket, because, boy, there's some contact underneath that basket tonight.
Well, Wyoming's defense has played very well against Boise tonight. On the season, Boise State averaging 75 points a game. Tonight, just 37. They're going to have to continue to be solid down the stretch, especially since Boise State is in the bonus right now.
100%.
Here's Allen, and it's in and out.
I don't think the offense, this is going to be a lot of highlights, of how to run offense in this game. This seems like more of a heavyweight boxing match, just two guys pounding on each other.
Lockett to Ugbo. We'll see a lot of Ugbo with Stanley with 4 fouls. Nesbitt for Wyoming also has 4 fouls and a turnover.
Bowie was just trying to get that ball. Meadows was trying to get another quick back cut and get an easy basket. Little miscommunication. 11
turnovers for Boise State. Can Wyoming capitalize off the turnover? Agbem finds Belich. 15 on the shot clock. Wills, nice move, goes up, floats it up and off the glass.
I love going away. The way they've been hard hedging those ball screens and really chucking those guards coming off really makes it hard for them to go to the basket. Going away from that ball screen, direct line to the basket, and a good shot.
1 point game again. Degenhardt goes in, a block on Dynamo.
Wow. Degenhardt taking this game whenever they need a bucket. Hard straight drive to the basket and getting the and one. There is no help. There's no time to get over there to help when you take it that straight to the bucket.
Sundance Wicks, the head coach for Wyoming, and the Wyoming faithful was unhappy with the call.
So they didn't give him an and one. They just had called it before.
So he'll shoot the 1 and 1. Leon Rice is wondering why that wasn't called with the continuation. What was it from your perspective, Steve?
Well, I thought Degenhardt did very similar to what Nesbitt did. Hard, strong, attack of the rim. But look how he doesn't just lower his shoulder and sell it, and make it a real, an opportunity to get an offensive foul. He's, controlled and takes it right back up, goes straight up after that contact. Tough call. That's one of those bang-bang plays, and I tell you what, we have 3 very good officials out here tonight. That is not an easy call to get right and to get right, most of the time. So that's a tough one right there. I think it could have gone either way, but I don't think that's a bad call.
Degenhardt, 83% from the charity stripe. He'll shoot the 1 and 1. The basket did not count, and he's pure on the first one.
Vern Harris was on that call. Vern has been reffing basketball now for 37 straight years in a row. I was talking to him before the game. He said his goal is so that he will have reffed a game in 6 different decades.
Wow.
And he could do that in 7 more years.
Degenhardt misses the back end of the 1 and 1. Wills will bring it up court. Michael Irving, Vern Harris, and Mark Riggs are officials tonight.
These guys have worked Final Four, games. This is a very, very veteran staff.
And they've been letting them play. Wills, pull up 3, go!
Wow. That was a big basket. That was one that they hadn't counted on, but the shot clock was running down. He had the mismatch, and he got a chance to let it fly. Got a good look.
Timeout, Boise State. A.J. Wills with the 3 ball. And Wyoming with their first lead of the game. 39-38, Wyoming. A lot of happy Wyoming Cowboys fans right now. At one point, it was a 13-point lead for Boise State. A.J. Wills with the most recent 3-pointer to give Wyoming a 39-38 lead. Kyle Hewson, the former Cowboy, Steve Gosar with you. And Steve, what a second half it's been for the Cowboys.
Great second half, a much better start to the second half than it was the first of the game. I tell you what, A.J. Wills is a big part of that. Where we have been highlighting where there hasn't been really good offense, he has come in and has been perfect from the field. 3 for 3, 8 points, and I tell you, he has provided a much-needed offense for the Cowboys.
And he's only played 8 minutes as well, so like you said, he's provided a spark. Buchanan for 3.
Boy, I love that kid's game. I am telling you, he's inside, outside. He is the next Boise basketball, legend. He and Meadows are 2 really good players, and they've got a great future.
5 points for Buchanan. Wills over to Agbem. Agbem fake the pass, drives in, back outside. Wills, too short.
Good look, but I tell you what, even better, Coach Rice comes out in a 1-3-1 just to change things up on the Cowboys following that big 3 by Buchanan.
Cardenas going against Wills. Outside, Degenhardt. Degenhart to Meadow. Meadow drives in, goes up strong against Dynamo.
Good clear out two-man game there. Handoff, dribble handoff with Degenhart and Meadows is able to turn the corner and finish that. That's that great Boise size and length, getting a good look at the bucket. When they needed a basket, they got a great look and the basket.
It's back to a 4-point lead for Boise State. Wills kicks it over, corner three, Dante Allen.
Dante Allen has had a wonderful game tonight, and he's got it started for himself on the defensive end, and his offense has followed.
6 points for Allen. 1-point game yet again. 8:45 to go in the second half. And the Cowboys get a stop here. Here's Buchanan. Over to the corner. Lockett Jr. up top to Cardenas. Cardenas goes against Wills. Wills goes flying. What a shot from Cardenas.
I loved Cardenas on tape. I thought his passing is as good as anybody in the Mountain West. But I tell you what, I'm seeing tonight with him creating and getting tough baskets is even better in person than I saw on tape.
13 points, and none of those points have come easy for Cardenas. Here's Allen. Inside, reverse layup.
For the Cowboy bench with Allen, with Will stepping in, they have given the Cowboys a huge lift with Jay Nesbitt on the bench.
Nesbitt with 4 fouls. Stanley for Boise State. He's got 4. Excuse me. Stanley has 3 fouls. And a foul is called on Wills, and we will take a timeout. Back and forth we go. 45-44 Boise State. Don't go anywhere. Well, Steve Gosar, Dante Allen has been key for the Wyoming Cowboys. The last 2 buckets for Wyoming, but it hasn't just been Allen. It hasn't just been Obi Agbem. The Cowboys have been deep this year.
Yeah, they have had 10 guys rotating in and out of that starting lineup, playing significant minutes. And, you know, in games like this where you need to lean on your bench because Jordan, one of your starters, is on the bench with foul trouble, that is really a big key, you know what, to helping them stay in this ballgame. The bench has been huge for the Cowboys, and you know what, Boise State does the exact same thing. They play deep into their bench, and as this season moves on, you need to lean more on those bench players. Those guys become more valuable as the season goes on, so you have to invest in them early on if they're going to be there later on.
Allen still in the game. Kobe Newton back into the game. A.J. Wills out. Cole Henry is back in for Wyoming. Cardenas makes the first one of the 1-and-1. Next foul for Wyoming will be number 10. It'll get Boise State shooting 2 free throws
starting
the rest of the game.
Yeah, it's not to cut you off, Kyle, but starting to see a lot more free throws down on this side, especially with Cardenas at the line. Cannot let him get comfortable right there. Those are 2 easy baskets for him.
And Boise State just with 5 team fouls, so a couple more to give. Or 1 more to give, rather, before Wyoming starts shooting free throws.
We haven't heard much from Kobe Newton tonight. You know, he hasn't got a lot of open looks and opportunities to let a clean 3-ball off.
Foul on Buchanan. That was the last one for Boise State to give. 6th team foul. Kobe Newton 0 for 2 from the field.
This I like right here. You've got pressure out on the perimeter. Well, you've got to fight that pressure with pressure. Take it straight to the bucket, straight lines, and get those fouls up so you can get to the foul line.
We'll do a little court maintenance for the moment. 1 possession game. Wyoming had the lead for a moment at 39-38. But Boise State, obviously resilient, and the Cowboys hanging tough right with them. Belich with it. 8 on the shot clock and a foul. Cowboys will be shooting free throws.
Belich, 2 plays in a row, straight line to the basket, attacking the rim, trying to go downhill. Both times gets the fouls. This time he's going to get to go to the foul line. Now, if they're going to make this work, they've got to convert from the foul line. And this is not a great free throw shooting team in the Cowboys right now, but they're going to have to lean on the free throws to get some buckets, some critical points down the stretch.
Yeah, 68% from the line. They've been better the last few games. Belich in and out, and Boise State with the rebound.
Hey, this is a game of inches, and those free throws, those missed free throws are huge in a ball game like this.
You look at the one possession losses for Wyoming this year. Here's Meadow for three. He's been quiet, but it's poked out by Boise State. They're so good on the boards.
These offensive rebounds, these extra possessions, extra shots that Boise State gets, this is how they beat teams.
Degenhardt goes up, no good, and it is pulled down by Buchanan. Third opportunity for Boise State. Cardenas, step back three, nothing doing, but Degenhardt gets it back. Shot clock does not reset. 8 seconds. Cardenas kicks it over, and it goes into the first row of stands.
Saw that in the San Jose State game a couple of times where, you know, just tries to do a little bit too much. Late in the shot clock, you got to get up something on the rim, but outstanding effort by the Broncos on that offensive side of things. Cowboys are very lucky they didn't give up a bucket.
Jordan Nesbitt back on the floor, playing with 4 fouls. Nesbitt goes up hard. Great D by Meadow, and the Broncos come up court. Meadow playing with 3 fouls. He'll drive in. What a strong play from Andrew Meadow.
Oh, wow. Straight lines. Held off 2 defenders. Looked like a fullback going through the line of scrimmage and still managed to lay it up on the glass nice and soft.
He's been relatively quiet today, but 6 points, 4 boards, 3 fouls, and decided to take it in himself there. Agbem, step back jumper.
I know he hit it, but he had Degenhardt with a step. Take it one more dribble, get the layup.
Nesbitt with the steal. He's got Agbem with it. Goes up and fouled by Keene. Well, they were looking for the alley-oop. Agbem goes down, and he is holding on to his right leg right now.
And you could see Coach Wicks I don't think that's intentional. I think he got caught up in the play and, you know what, tried not to, hit Agbem. But that incidental contact, when you have, a player in the air, a vulnerable player in the air, that is where, really bad things can happen.
Agbem standing out by the Wyoming Cowboys logo.
And Jordan Nesbitt, is a little bit frustrated right now. He's got to reel it in. I'm not so sure I love the lob on that play. You got a 2-on-1. Why not just, you've got the size and athleticism advantage. Just make the simple play. Get out of there with the bucket. That's more valuable than anything.
So after checking on Obi Agbem, who gives the thumbs up that he's okay, he'll go to the line.
I'll tell you, this lineup right here for the Cowboys is not a great rebounding lineup. You know what? You got Tynamo in there, and Belich, and Kobe Newton, Agbem, and Nesbitt. Nesbitt on the defensive side is going to have to really help out on that glass to make sure that the Broncos don't come away with another offensive rebounds and opportunities to score.
It's going to be tough with those 4 fouls as well. So be tough but smart. Agbem misses the front end of the 1-and-1.
Those free throws, front ends, missed 2 right there. This is, they hit both of those. They're up by 1 right now. But against, late in the game, Boise with the lead is really a difficult team.
Belich going for the reach in. The Broncos will shoot 2 the rest of the way. Buchanan Almost 78% from the line. As a team, the Broncos shoot nearly 78%. They're averaging 18.1 free throws per game, which is tops in the Mountain West Conference, 25th nationally. As Buchanan sinks the first one, back to a 4-point game.
This is more of a typical Boise State game right here, all right? Ball's going inside and out. You know, you got Cardenas making some great passes. That ball's moving side to side. They're getting open looks. They're getting to the foul line. That's where the Cowboys are starting to get to the foul line, but they're not capitalizing on it, and that's empty possessions.
Agbeck going one-on-one against Cardenas. Step back jumper. No good, and rebounded by Buchanan.
It's a tough shot. It's a tough shot. He's hit a lot of tough shots. I get it. It's a 5-point game, under 5 minutes. Need to have something maybe going to the basket, being a little bit more patient.
We go to Buchanan, working against Belich. Outside, Cardenas, they give it around to Degenhardt. Lockett with it. Cardenas, 6 seconds. He took a number of steps and misses the layup anyway.
Cowboy fans wanted to travel on that one. I couldn't see it.
It may have just looked a little bit worse because he was falling over.
It's the time right now. This is a mismatch here for Obi.
Belich has to get it up. He fires it up, and a shot clock violation. Under 4 minutes. Boise State with a 5-point lead. 51-46 in favor of the Broncos. Don't go anywhere. Good one coming. Boise State with a 51-46 lead over Wyoming. 3:59 to go in the second half. Kyle Houston, the former Cowboy, Steve Gosar with you in the Arena-Auditorium. Steve, it's going to come down to the wire. It's been back and forth, especially in the second half.
It's been, you know, a battle here, a great ball game. We're seeing some incredible individual efforts. But I will tell you, the one stat that's sticking out to me, and it's one we talked about earlier, is the rebounding side. Right now, Boise is up a +10 on the rebounding at this stage in the game. The Cowboys have got to do a better job. It has to be one and done. When they miss, the Cowboys got to get a clean rebound and take it back out on the other end. They cannot keep giving Boise State extra shots.
Meadow for 3, gets it.
That's a huge basket. That's a scripted play coming out of a timeout. You know, I read somewhere Meadows shot 50,000 three-pointers in the offseason to just make sure that he had an opportunity to knock down shots just like that one.
He's 36% from the line, or from beyond the arc, rather, this year. And a foul going against Lockett.
And that's a good call. I don't know what he's complaining about. That's a good call. You got to be aware of where you're at on the court and who you're dealing with. This is the Cowboys' best free throw shooter, Obi Agbim.
Well, look at the transition from last year to this year for Andrew Meadow, and you can see how much his hard work has paid off.
I remember when they signed him out of high school, I remember the Boise staff talking about the passion he had and the love of the game that he had and how they felt he was a special player for him, and he's showing it in just one season, the turnaround.
There's another 3 that is off of the far side of the iron.
You shoot 50,000 three-pointers in the offseason, you're going to have a lot of confidence in your three-point shot.
Dante Allen, he's got 8 points. Agbem in the corner. Allen now to Wills. Wills pops the 3 ball.
Wow, A.J. Wills. He has really saved the Cowboys. He and Dante Allen have just provided such a huge offensive spark off the bench.
11-point for A.J. Wills. 3 from beyond the arc. It's a 5-point game. Timeout. 2:47 to go. And A.J. Wills What a spark he has brought from the bench.
He has been fantastic. Now, Cowboys have to really think about, hey, we've got to get a stop at this end, get a clean rebound, no second shots, and try to chip into this lead. The one thing you're going to see is that Boise's going to come out. They're probably going to run a good set, get a good look, but they're going to milk. And if they don't get that good, clean look right off the bat, they're going to milk the clock, probably get into a two-man game with Degenhardt and Cardenas with a ball screen and roll and try to get the ball to Degenhardt.
A.J. Wills, 11 minutes, 11 points. Meadow with it, hands it off to Lockett. A lot of motion for the Broncos. They'll slow things down for a moment. Buchanan trying to go inside. Meadow against Nesbitt. Nesbitt playing with those 4 fouls.
Great defensive effort. Dante Allen fighting through that handoff. Fantastic effort.
Degenhardt steps back. 3-ball, got it.
Wow. Preseason Mountain West Player of the Year. That's what the Mountain West Player of the Year does. Delivers a big 3-ball when you need it.
Got Tynamo to step back and opened up some space. Here's Wills. Looking for Allen, finds him. 15 on the shot clock. Allen inside. Tynamo is knocked over by Meadow on the backside.
They had the mismatch. They switched on the perimeter. He had Cardenas down there. He had the size on him. Meadows, they threw the ball up, and Meadows just came crashing over the top. Good hustle play, but he, you know what, just came away with the contact.
Double bonus on each side. Meadow with 4 fouls. And Tynamo will shoot free throws. He knocked down his first 2 earlier. This is only 2 points so far. The Cowboys need these free throws.
These are huge. These are huge. Boise State this late in the game with this much of a lead is really hard to come back on. You have got to dot your I's and cross your T's and knock down all of your free throws if you're going to come back on these guys. And that is not how you come back.
Wyoming 6 of 12 from the charity stripe.
They were 6 of 7. They have missed the last 5 in a row. You get those 5, it's a 3-point game.
And Tynamo makes it an even 50 for the Cowboys. They need a stop on D.
Broncos will not take a quick shot here. This is a seasoned team, well-coached team. They are going to milk this clock. The clock is their enemy right now. They just have got to burn time. They're going to run this thing down to the end and get a high percentage shot.
Cardenas outside. Buchanan, wide open 3, short. Rebounded by Meadow, and Nesbitt with his 5th foul.
How he got inside the defense to get that offensive rebound. You know, a lot of ball, but a lot of arm before he got to the ball. I don't think that's a bad call. That is a quick reaction call, and I think he got it right. The problem was that he got inside the defense and got that offensive rebound. That is what kills teams when you play Boise State. Not the first shot, it's the second one.
Meadow over 85% from the line. Gets it to roll in.
It's not a body on him. You can see from that angle, he is underneath the bucket without anybody, blocking him out. You got to find a body and put a body on every one of the offense to make sure you secure that defensive rebound.
9-point lead for Boise State. Wills directing traffic.
Good switch by Boise State, not letting the Cowboys get an open 3.
And Belich will go to the line. Buchanan called for the foul.
This physical of a game, I really talked to you earlier on about Belich. I thought he was going to have to play a very big part of this game if the Cowboys were going to win. And I think the next go-around, I think he's better adjusted to how this game needs to be played to be that player to help the Cowboys over the top. He's got a high basketball IQ. He's very skilled. And they need him in games like this. They need him in the Mountain West to really continue to develop and step up and be a bigger part of their offense.
2 huge free throws for Belich and a timeout for Sundance Wicks and his Cowboys. Seven-point lead for Boise State. Well, we haven't seen Omar Stanley a lot in this second half, but he is our YO Lotto play of the game. This came earlier in the contest in the first half, and what an effort from Stanley.
Totally set the tone. All right, Belich gets that steal, goes down the court. Now, I don't like that. Take that ball up with one hand and try to put it down. No, you need to take that ball, especially when you have a shot blocker like Stanley there, and you need to drive your shoulder into his ribs and get that ball up on the glass. But Keene did the exact same thing about, 6-7 minutes later, where he blocked Obi Agbim, putting that ball out there for the defender to get a block. Those 4 buckets, or those 4 points, are huge right now when you think about where this game is at.
Well, those 4 points and also the free throws that Wyoming has missed before Dynamo made the free throw and then Belich knocked down those 2. They had missed 5 in a row, just 9 of 15 from the line. Meanwhile, Boise State on the other side, they've only missed 1, 9 of 10 from the free throw line. Those are the little differences that make a big difference in the game.
100%, and well spoken. The habits that you have will come out. There may be times where you shoot good free throws, but you may not ever be a good free throw shooting team. Your habits, will eventually catch up with you.
Wyoming in the full court press. They get it into Degenhart. Passes to Meadow. They break it relatively easy. Here's Cardenas. Now kicks it out, and Boise State will slow things down. We're approaching 1 minute left in the second half.
Couple of really close passes that almost turned into turnovers. And that's not the guy you want to foul. He's made a home at that free throw line this second half. And I tell you, not the guy you want to foul, putting a really good point guard at the line late in the game and hoping he misses. Typically not the guy that misses on the team. I stand corrected. There we go. The announcer's jinx.
4 of 5 now for the line is Cardenas. That was a big miss. It keeps it a 7-point game for now, but Cardenas has had a fantastic ball game for the Broncos. 15 points. None of them coming easy. Now 16 points. 8-point lead for Boise State. Cowboys will have to hurry. Wills moving to his right. Allen, open 3, in and out, rebounded by Boise State.
That was great look, great penetration by Wills and pass along that baseline. And Allen had the easiest look that he's probably had all night long, and that thing was, halfway down and bounced out.
Well, Wyoming on the season shooting nearly 49% from beyond the arc in Mountain West play. But today, they have not been good from three-point land.
And, they've got a really, they've got some really talented guards. They've got some post players that can score inside. And, you have to have both. You have to have the ability to knock down those threes and score inside to win consistently in the Mountain West. And tonight, right now, the outside shot has failed them.
There's Wills for 3.
Except for Wills. My gosh, he's perfect for the game, I think.
4th three-pointer for Wills. And it's a 7-point game.
I stand corrected. Mills missed 1 3-pointer tonight, but he has played outstanding. for the Cowboys.
Especially right now with Obi Agbem on the bench, you wonder if on that foul the leg was aggravated a little bit. You saw him holding that leg as he was getting ready to shoot those foul shots. And normally you would see Obi Agbem on the court. So something's obviously hurting him a little bit.
I hope that is not an injury to Obi Agbem, because that would be a terrible loss for the Cowboys.
Wills has it stolen by Cardenas, and Allen with the foul. Cardenas fired up right at midcourt.
Yeah, he has been really even keel most of this game, showing a little bit of emotion and feeling good about, that steal out of half court and closing out this ball game. But he's played a fantastic game. He's got 5 turnovers, which is uncharacteristic of him. But, I think with what he's done and how he's scored the ball, when the Cowboys were not letting him have the angles to pass and they were hugged up on the shooters, I think he did what, he answered the question that I had. Can Cardenas score enough, to beat the Cowboys? And I think he's done both. I think he's scored, and he's had, 6 or 7 assists on the night, which is, an outstanding night too.
Yeah, 19 points, 6 assists, 3 rebounds, and another 3 from A.J. Wills. Cowboys not going away.
Well, Wills is not going away for certain. He has made up his mind. They're going to play out these last 22.8 seconds of 2024, but he has been impressive tonight, almost like Agbem against Bellarmine the other night. Everything is going in.
Oh, don't forget that game last year, Wyoming against CSU here in the Dome of Doom. It looked like CSU was going to close it out, 11-point lead just over minutes ago, and the Cowboys get it to overtime, end up winning the game.
You and I did that ball game, and still maybe one of the best ball games I've ever seen in person. The Cowboys just kept battling, and just each possession found a way to win that possession, and they stacked up enough of them, enough battles to win the war.
6-point game for Boise State. 22.8. You got to imagine the Cowboys don't get a steal. It's an immediate foul.
And I think you got to put Buchanan back on the line if you can. If you can, you don't get that steal. Nobody's on him right now, so it's not going to be easy to foul him.
Well, they'll certainly try to get it into Cardenas. Oh, a little trick play, passing it across the baseline, and Belic fouls Degenhardt.
And not a bad foul. You'd hope that somebody else besides Cardenas and Degenhardt would be able to put it at the line, but at this point, beggars can't be choosy. You got to, whoever's got the ball, that clock's your enemy, and you got to try to keep as much time on it as possible.
And if you're Leon Rice on the flip side, of course you're saying, hey, we want the ball in Cardenas or Degenhardt's hand at any cost. Degenhardt pure on that first one.
I've watched him now for 4 years, and every time I watch him, I come away just thinking that he makes the right play at the right time. You know what? Yeah, not making that free throw is not the right play, but consistently he's getting an offensive rebound or scoring a good bucket.
Belic is short on the drive in, and the Cowboys will foul, and that'll just about do it.
This was a battle tonight. These two teams went toe-to-toe. This was big boy basketball, trying to get to the rim with the contact, with getting an offensive or defensive rebound. You had to be strong. You had to be physical, and this game was just lived up to everything I thought it might be.
Degenhardt gets the free throw to roll.
He has a chance through the all-time leading scorer in Boise State history, as well as being the top 10 in games played, games started, field goals made. I mean, he has had rebounds. He has had an amazing career at Boise State.
And he was a part of that last defensive stop for the Boise State Broncos as they win the New Year's Eve battle by a score of 67-58. At one point, it was a 13-point lead for Boise State in the first half. Cowboys had the lead for a moment in the second half. But boy, did Boise State show their experience, show their toughness, and just their will to win in a place that is very tough for any opponent to win.
Boise State, I will tell you, you know what, looking at Alvaro, Cardenas, he's the player of the game tonight. He played wonderfully, 19 points, 8 of 10 from the foul line, knocking him down when he needed it, 6 assists. He really was impressive tonight in his ability to score and score through contact. But I will tell you, going back to your point, yes, the Cowboys took the lead, came out of that timeout, and I thought, Boise State came back out, got a good basket, and the Cowboys went 2 to 3 possessions empty-handed, maybe shot the ball a little bit quick, didn't get as good of a look as they wanted, and it allowed Boise State to put a little bit of separation. And, this is a very well-coached ball club, and they have really good players. It is hard to spot them late in the game, a 5, 6, 7-point lead, and come back on them. That's just, they don't let teams get back up. When they got them down, they finish them off.
And ultimately, it was the seniors, Cardenas, Degenhart, at the end, that the ball was in their hand every possession. They made their free throws down the stretch, and they were able to finish off the game for the Broncos. And we take a look at the final stats. It was ugly to start for the Cowboys from the field, a little bit jumpy. They really settled in. From beyond the arc, a little bit lower than what they're used to in the Mountain West Conference. But still, you can't hang your head if you are the Cowboys right now.
Well, I think, you look 4, lines down there and you see that rebounding, out-rebounded by 13. This is a really good rebounding, or Cowboy, basketball rebounding team. And to be out-rebounded by 13 in this ball game, that's the tail of the tape for me. The Broncos just got too many second attempts, second shots that ended up turning into baskets.
Yeah, Boise State with a 9.8 rebound margin per game. Overall, 14th in the NCAA. Well, that will do it from the Arena-Auditorium. That'll do it for the 2024 calendar year. Back at it tomorrow for Wyoming women's basketball. Tonight, our score, the Boise State Broncos 67, the Wyoming Cowboys 58. For my partner, Steve Gosar, our entire outstanding crew, I'm Kyle Houston saying, have a happy new year, everyone. Be safe tonight. Have a great night. Good night, everybody.